So here you can see that is the TS of midbrain at the level of inferior colliculus. So the first we should have to see that is the gray matter. So the nucleus of trochlear nerve that should be present into that the ventromedial aspect. Here you can see that is the trochlear nucleus. Then the nucleus of or the mesencephalic nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. So here you can see that is the mesencephalic nucleus of the trigeminal nerve, this one. It is present in the lateral part and it receives the proprioceptions from the muscles of the mastication, facial muscle, oculomotor muscle and the teeth and the temporomandibular joint. So that should be controlled that the mesencephalic nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. These both are present into that the gray matter, that is the trochlear nucleus and the mesencephalic nucleus. Then the inferior colliculus. So here you can see the inferior colliculus. So the inferior colliculus receives the afferent from the lateral lemniscus and gives efferent to the medial geniculate body. So as you know, that is the inferior colliculus that should be connected to that the medial geniculate body. So it receives the afferent. Afferent means that is the sensory impulses from the lateral lemniscus and it gives efferent means send the motor impulses to that the medial geniculate body. Then next to it, that is the substantia nigra. So here black color you can see that is the substantia nigra. It is a lamina of the gray matter present consists of the deep pigmented cell and it is concerned with the muscle tone. Then the white matter. Then white matter that consists of the crus cerebri means this anterior part. So crus cerebri that consists of the corticospinal tract into the middle. So here you can see that corticospinal tract and the corticonuclear fiber. Then the frontopontine fibers in the medial 1/3. So here frontopontine fiber. And the lateralmost part, it should be occurs the temporopontine, here the parietopontine and the occipitopontine fiber. So this one, temporopontine, parietopontine and the occipitopontine fibers. Then the tegmentum means this is the posterior part. The tegmentum that contain the ascending tracts. So this one here you can see that is the 4 tract. That is first the lemniscus. That is the 4 lemnisci are present from anterior to that the posterior side. So anteriorly large lemnisci, that is the medial lemnisci. Then second one, that is the trigeminal lemnisci. Third one, that is the spinal lemnisci. And the last one, fourth, that is the lateral lemnisci. Then second one, that is the decussation of superior cerebral peduncle. So here you can see that is the small decussation are present here. That is the decussation of superior cerebral peduncles that should be present on the anterior aspect. Then the medial longitudinal bundle. So here you can see M means that is the medial longitudinal bundle lies close to the relation with the trochlear nerve. So here the trochlear nerve and here that is the medial longitudinal bundle is present. Then the tectospinal tract. So the tectospinal tract and the ruberospinal tract are present. So here you can see tectospinal tract T and R, that is the ruberospinal tract. Then the trochlear nerve, here you can see it passes laterally and dorsally. So here you can see that is the fibers. It passes laterally and dorsally and round the central gray matter. So here it can occurs it rounded, that is the central gray matter, and it decussate in the superior medullary velum. So here you can see that is the decussation of the fibers or crossing that the fibers in the superior medullary velum and emerges on lateral to that the posterior aspect. So in this way, and from the posterior aspect then it should be comes on the lateral side and comes on the ventral aspect of the midbrain. So in this way, that is the structure that should be seen, the TS of the midbrain at the level of the inferior colliculus. So let's see, that is the TS of the midbrain at the level of the superior colliculus. So firstly we should have to see that is the gray matter. So here, so that is the central gray matter. It consists of, that is the nucleus of the oculomotor nerve. So here you can see the nucleus of oculomotor nerve with the Edinger-Withers-Ned nucleus in the ventromedial part. So on this side. Then the mesencephalic nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. See these two. Here you can see that is the mesencephalic nucleus of the trigeminal nerve that is present on the lateral aspect. Then the cavity is present, that is the cerebral aqueduct, and posterior to it there is presence, that is the superior colliculi. So here you can see that is the superior colliculi. So this superior colliculi, it receives the afferent from the retina, means that is the visual pathway, and it varies to the other center. Then it gives the efferent to the spinal cord, means that is the tectospinal tract, and this control the reflex movement of the eyes, head, neck in the response of the visual stimuli. Then next one, that is the pretectal nucleus. So here you can see that is the on both lateral side, that is the pretectal nucleus. So the pretectal nucleus, it is lies deep to that the superolateral part of the superior colliculus. So here that is the two superior colliculus, and that should be present on the superolateral part. It receives the afferent from the lateral root of the optic tract and gives the efferent to the Edinger-Withers nucleus. Then the pretectal nucleus, this nucleus, it is a part of the pathway of light reflexes and is receives the afferent from the optic tract. So it is a part of the pathway of the light reflexes. So the lesion causes the Argyll-Robertson syndrome, means in which the pupil cannot be get reflexes with the light, means light reflexes of the pupil that should be loses, because of that the damage to occurs into that the pretectal nucleus. Then the last one, that is the red nucleus. So here you can see red nucleus, red color. So the name is given red nucleus. So the red nucleus, it is a 0.5 centimeter diameter, receives afferent from the superior cerebellar peduncle, the globus pellucidus, subthalamic nucleus, and the formation of the olivary nucleus. It has a inhibitory influence on the muscle tone, means it should be control the muscle movement of the body. After then we should have to see that is the white matter. So white matter, that consists of the two crura here, and these two crura that should be shows the same tract, descending tract, that is centrally it should be shows the corticospinal and the corticonuclear tract. Then on the ventromedially it should be shows the frontopontine tract or the fiber, and lateral most part it should be shows the temporopontine, paritopontine, and the occipitopontine fibers. Then the tegmentum, means this posterior part. So the tegmentum, it shows same lemnisci, but only the lateral lemniscus are absent as compared to that the inferior colliculus. So ventrolaterally, that is the medial lemniscus is present, then the trigeminal lemniscus is present, and the spinal lemniscus is present, and the lateral lemniscus, that is totally absent. Then ventral side, that is here the decussation of the tectospinal and the tectobulbar tract forms the dorsal tegmentum decussation. Okay? So here that is the dorsal tegmentum decussation, and this is the ventral tegmentum decussation. So the decussation of the tectospinal and the tectobulbar tract, so it should be forming, that is the dorsal tegmental decussation. So this one, and the decussation of the rubrospinal tract, so this one, so it should be formed the ventral tegmental decussation. Then the medial longitudinal bundle are present, and important is that is the emerging fibers of the oculomotor nerve. So here you can see that is the oculomotor nucleus is present, and the fibers they are emerging on the ventral side of the midbrain. Then the tectum, this posterior part, it shows the posterior commissure connected to that the superior colliculi. Okay? So these are the structure which is present, the TS of the midbrain at the level of superior colliculus. After then the blood supply of the midbrain. So midbrain, that is mostly supplied by the branches of the basilar artery. So here you can see that is the basilar artery, and second one, that is the superior cerebellar artery. So here superior cerebellar artery and posterior cerebral artery. So here posterior cerebral artery. So these are the two branches which are coming out from the basilar artery. So these two arteries mostly supply to that the midbrain, and the branches of the posterior communicating artery. So here posterior communicating artery, so it also gives blood supply to that the midbrain, and the anterior choroidal artery. So this one small branch, it is called the anterior choroidal artery, AC. So that is also supply the bloods to that the midbrain. Then the venous drainage of the midbrain, that is the veins coming out from the midbrain, it is drained into the great cerebral vein and the basal vein. After then we should have to see that is the clinical or the applied anatomy. So before starting the clinical anatomy, let's see the functions of the midbrain. So first, that is the function of the superior colliculi. So here that is the superior colliculi is present. So it gives the reflex center for the visual reflexes. Then the inferior colliculus, which is present below to that the superior colliculus, so it gives the reflexes to that the lower auditory center. Then the third, the red nucleus, so this one, so it should be control the involuntary control of the muscle tone of and the posture. Then the next one, that is the substantia nigra, this is the deep pigmented cell, so it regulates the activity of the basal nuclei. Then after then we should have to see that is the clinical application or the clinical anatomy. So first, that is the Weber syndrome. So here you can see that is the Weber syndrome, that should be involved the third cranial nerve, means oculomotor nerve. So here you can see that is the oculomotor nerve nucleus, and this nerve it should be passing on the anterior side. So here that the nerve should be involved. Then next to it, that is the corticospinal fiber. So here on the middle side, you know that is the corticospinal fibers is present. So if that is the two parts of the midbrain, it should be involved the lesion. So it should be shows that is the symptom. So this symptom include the hemiplegia on the opposite side, and the pupil points downward and laterally due to the paralysis of the third cranial nerve, means that is the oculomotor nerve. After then second clinical points, that is the Benedict's syndrome. So the Benedict syndrome, so in the Benedict syndrome, that is the most of the part of the tegmentum it should be damaged. So the lesion causes the loss of medial lemniscus. So here you can see that is the lemniscus are present. These are 4 or 3 pairs of the lemniscus. So lesion that should be occurs into that the lemniscus. So lesion causes the medial lemniscus. Then that is the red nucleus, the superior cerebellar peduncle, the fibers of the third cranial nerve, means that is the oculomotor nerve here. So it should be occurs the symptom, that is the loss of proprioception due to the lesion of medial lemniscus. Then the pupil point gets downwards and the laterally, that is due to that the oculomotor nerve. And third one, that is the tremors and twitching of opposite side due to damage of the red nucleus and the superior cerebellar peduncles. So that is called the Benedict's syndrome. Then the third point, that is the Perinault syndrome. So here the Perinault syndrome, that should be occurs, the lesion should be occurs into that the superior colliculi. So here 3 number. So it should be occurs this symptom, that is the weakness of the upward gaze and the vertical nystagmus. So these two symptoms that should be occurs when the lesion should be occurs into that the superior colliculi. Then the last one point, that is the Argyll-Robertson pupil. So in this, the light reflexes are not lost, but the accommodation reflexes is retained due to the lesion of pretectal nucleus. So here, that is, the pretectal nucleus is present. So this one, pretectal nucleus. So the lesion should be occurs into this region, and because of the Argyll-Robertson pupil or this syndrome, that should be occurs. So these are some clinical points related with that the midbrain.